Assalamu alaikum. Today we will discuss the opioid analgesics. This is the first introductory lecture for the fourth year of the PharmD studies. In this lecture we will discuss the mechanism of the pain and what are the opioid analgesics and what is the major difference between opioid analgesics and NSAIDs, what was the history of the opioids, and some drugs which are the standard drugs which represent the whole group of the opioid like morphine. Then we will discuss the brief pharmacology of the morphine and their mechanism, their side effects, their adverse effects, and pharmacokinetics. Then the second portion of this lecture will be the addiction, how the addiction is done by using the opioids, what will be the dose, what will be their withdrawal symptoms, and under this heading we will discuss the opioids of abuse. Among them is the most common one is the heroin and the fentanyl. According to the addiction characteristic, then we will discuss the what will be the future of the opioids and what are the other therapeutic strategy where we can use the opioids. So first of all, we will discuss the normal mechanism of the pain. What is pain? Pain is basically defined as an unpleasant sensation that can be either acute or chronic, and it is basically a consequence of a complex neurochemical process in the peripheral as well as central nervous system. It means that both nervous system are involved in the induction of the pain. The mechanism of pain is very complex, and depending upon its mechanism, its elevation basically depends on the specific type of the pain and the nociceptive of the pain or neurogenic condition of the pain. For example, in mild to moderate cases, the treatment strategy is to use the NSAIDs, which are very effective in the peripheral nerve pains, which are basically induced at the nociceptive level. Then we have certain neurogenic pains that are best response against by the using of the anticonvulsive like pregabalin, like TCAs, amitriptyline, or as serotonin norepinephrine reuptake inhibitors like duloxetine. Basically, they are used for the neurogenic pains. And however, for severe or chronic pain, we have the drug of choice, which are opioids. And they are either natural or synthetic compounds which produce morphine-like effects. So we can say that basically opioids alter and produce their effects by inhibiting the pain sensation at central nervous system. So first of all, we learn that what is the mechanism of the pain. If nociceptive pain is there, then this is basically associated with the activation of the peripheral receptors, and basically the primary afferent neurons are activated, and the response is basically a noxious chemical or mechanical or ischemic stimulus. And in this any stimulus you can see that which damage the receptors, and basically it activates the peripheral nociceptors, and among them basically it is the transduction step which activates the ascending pain pathways. So basically NSAIDs are mainly act on this pathway, जिसमें बेसिकली ये जो नोसिसेप्शन से जो इन्फ्लेमेटरी मीडिएटर्स प्रोड्यूस हो रहे हैं, जिसमें प्रोस्टाग्लैंडिन्स हैं, ल्यूकोट्राइन्स हैं, दे आर मेनली टारगेटेड बाय दी NSAIDs. This peripheral path जो है वो basically then transmit the signal to the ascending pain pathway through the dorsal root ganglions, and these dorsal root ganglions transfer the signal to the spinal cord, and this transmission is blocked by the local anesthetics and the opioids, because in the spinal cord as well as in the brain there are opioid receptors, and this nerve impulse is basically can be easily blocked by the local anesthetics. Then the signal is further moving to the brain by the modulation of the ascending pathways, and this pathway again has the nerve transmission. This means nerve transmission, basically we have the primary ascending pain fibers, which are A, sigma and C fibers, which basically reach to the dorsal horn of the spinal cord from the peripheral side to innervate the nociceptor neurons, and basically they reach to the rex lamina. ये जो रेक्स लैमिना है ये उधर जो है बेसिकली ये रीच होते हैं ये न्यूरॉन्स, एंड हेयर they make a synaptic connections, and by synaptic connection they have certain types of mediators like substance P वगैरह, वो वहाँ पे जो है वो वहाँ पे substance जो है पेन मीडिएटर जो है बेसिकली वो जो है वो एक्टिवेट होते हैं. फर्दर मोर NMDA रिसेप्टर्स जो हैं वो एक्टिवेट होते हैं जो कि सेंट्रली जो है वो पेन को प्रोड्यूस करते हैं. How they are producing the pain? Because activation of these receptors basically result in the hyperpolarization of the neurons, which result in the जब इसमें ओपोइड रिसेप्टर्स इन पेन, जब पेन मॉड्यूलेट हो रहा है, ठीक है, इनिशियली तो पेन मॉड्यूलेट हो रहा है और पेन जो है फिर वो ऊपर हाइपोथैलेमस में असेंडिंग पाथवे के थ्रू जो है वो पेन सेंसेशन जो है वो फील होना शुरू हो गई है थ्रू आउट द CNS एंड द पेरिफेरल नर्वस सिस्टम. When it come back to the descending pathway, it activates certain pathways जो कि इस पेन pathways को inhibit करते हैं. certain endogenous substances जो है वो रिलीज होते हैं, and वो endogenous substances कौन कौन से हैं हमारे पास? फॉर एग्जांपल हमारे पास एंडोर्फिन्स हैं जो कि ओपोइड रिसेप्टर से बाइंड करते हैं, एंड दे इनहिबिट दी substance P and causes the hyperpolarization of the neurons, and this substance basically responsible for the pain transmission. So बेसिकली समरी ये है कि ये बेसिकली सब्सटेंस पी के थ्रू ओपोइड रिसेप्टर से बाइंड करके अपना जो है वो पेन का इफेक्ट प्रोड्यूस करते हैं, पेन इनहिबिशन इफेक्ट प्रोड्यूस करते हैं. सो वी कैन से दैट पेन इज एन अनप्लेजेंट एक्सपीरियंस दैट रिजल्ट फ्रॉम बोथ फिजिकल एंड साइकोलॉजिकल रिस्पॉन्स टू द इंजरी, and very complex set of pathways are there which transmit pain messages from the periphery to the central nervous system, where it controls occur from the higher centers. So the mainly we have the primary efferent pain fibers that synapses with the several types of neurons which are basically second order neurons in the dorsal horn of the spinal cord. जिसमें आपको बात याद रखने वाली है कि वो basically the location is the dorsal horn of the spinal cord, and the ascending pathway convey the pain to the brain, where pain signals are processed by the thalamus and it's sent to the cortex. Then descending tracts by the midbrain modulate the pain, and basically after modulation whenever there is a nerve damage, there is a physical damage, then they causes the release of certain substances which inhibit the pain individually. यानी या तो वो ऑटोमेटिकली खुद ही पेन को है वो मॉड्यूलेट करेगा, बॉडी को जो है वो रिफ्लेक्स एक्शन में लाएगा, या फिर हमें बाहर से पेन रिडक्शन के लिए कुछ सब्सटेंसेस की ज़रूरत है जो कि उन रिसेप्टर्स को एक्टिवेट करें जो बेसिकली नॉर्मली एक मॉड्यूलेशन के नतीजे में एक्टिवेट होते हैं. तो फॉर एग्जांपल जो परसेप्शन है, अब हमारे पास कौन कौन से टारगेट हैं जहाँ पे बेसिकली ये जो ड्रग्स हैं एक्ट करती हैं. यानी पेन जो है वो परसीव हो रहा है ब्रेन में एंड मॉड्यूलेट हो रहा है स्पाइनल कॉर्ड में, या फिर जो पेरिफेरल रिसेप्टर्स हैं वहाँ से जो है वो जो पेन के सिग्नल से इनिशिएट हो रहे हैं. तो अगर हम इनिशिएशन की बात करें तो वो इट कैन बी कंट्रोल्ड बाय NSAIDs, कैन बी कंट्रोल्ड बाय एंटीहिस्टामिन्स, कैन बी कंट्रोल्ड बाय opioids and can be controlled by local anesthetics. क्योंकि बेसिकली जो बिल्कुल इनिशियल हमारे पास पेन रिसेप्शन है जो कि नर्व इम्पल्स स्टार्ट हो रही है बिल्कुल एट अ स्टार्टअप लेवल पे, वहाँ पे अगर हमने ब्लॉक कर दिया है तो इट मीन्स पेन सेंसेशन नहीं होगी. The other target is the spinal cord, where transmission of the pain through the ascending pathway can be blocked, and जो drugs यहाँ पे act करती हैं वो हैं local anesthetics and the opioids. फर्दरमोर अगर मॉड्यूलेट करना है यहीं पे ओपोइड्स या अल्फा एगोनिस्ट या NMDA रिसेप्टर एंटागोनिस्ट जो है वो इसी जगह पे मॉड्यूलेशन जो कि डिसेंडिंग पाथवे के थ्रू हो रही है वो भी इनहिबिट हो सकती है. देन परसेप्शन इन द ब्रेन, जो कि पेन की परसेप्शन है वो भी बेसिकली ब्लॉक होगी ओपोइड रिसेप्टर से. तो इट मीन्स कि वी हैव 3 साइड्स वेयर 4 साइड वेयर ओपोइड्स आर बेसिकली परफॉर्मिंग देयर फंक्शन टू इनहिबिट द पेन सेंसेशन. तो नेचुरली जो सब्सटेंसेस है जब वो रिलीज होते हैं वो ओपोइड रिसेप्टर्स पे बाइंड करते हैं और पेन को इनहिबिट करते हैं. दिस इज दिस सिंपल समरी कि किस तरह हम टारगेट कर सकते हैं एरियाज़ को जहाँ पे हम बेसिकली इसमें अगर हम देखें तो ओपोइड्स जो है अपना रोल ज़्यादा जगहों पे प्ले कर रहे हैं. पेन इज़ अ सिम्टम कि जो कि क्वालिटी ऑफ लाइफ जो है वो बहुत ज़्यादा इफेक्ट करता है. तो इट्स मैनेजमेंट इज़ वेरी चैलेंजिंग एंड स्पेशली अगर वो क्रॉनिक पेन है. तो ओपोइड्स एनाल्जेसिक्स आर बेसिकली द एनाल्जेसिक्स दैट बाइंड टू ओपोइड रिसेप्टर्स which are found principally in the central nervous system or in GIT tract, and by binding these receptors they activate they basically depress the perception of the pain. They mimic the action of the endogenous peptide. And what are the endogenous peptides? These are endorphins, enkephalins and dynorphins. And basically they are reserved for the chronic pain and or the cancerous pain or for surgical pains. So there are various classes of the opioids, and basically they are the natural opiates. And natural opiates are basically those alkaloids which are initially isolated from the opium poppy, like morphine, like codeine and heroin. Then we have the semi-synthetic opioids, which are derivatized from the natural opioids to decrease their certain side effects, like hydromorphone, oxycodone, and other types. Then we have the fully synthetic opioids, which are fentanyl, which are methadone, and which are tramadol. And tramadol is the most common used opioid जो कि हम सबसे ज़्यादा यूज़ कर रहे हैं आज, और fentanyl भी कह सकते हैं. Then we have the endogenous opioids. These are the substances which are naturally present in our body, endorphins, enkephalins, etc., etc. If we classify them according to the activation of the opioid receptors, then we have the strong agonist, which completely activate the opioid receptors. अभी हम opioid receptors को भी discuss कर लेते हैं. Then we have the example of the strong agonists are the fentanyl, hydroxycodone, meperidine, methadone, and morphine, oxycodone, etc., etc. While we have the moderate agonists, which moderately activate these types of receptors. The example of this type of the class is the codeine. Then we have the mixed agonists, which have antagonist and partial agonist type activity. We have the buprenorphine and butorphanol and nalbuphine, pentazocine are among the mixed agonist, antagonist, or we can say partial agonist. Then we have the antagonist, which is the most famous one, is the naloxone, and other is the naltrexone. If we talk about the opioid receptors, the opioids basically interact with the proteinous receptors, which are present on the membrane of the certain cells in the central nervous systems, on the nerve terminals in the periphery, and on the cells of the GIT tract and other anatomical regions. Mainly we have 3 types of receptors: mu, kappa, and delta receptors. And basically these 3 types of receptors are present in different types of organ, and they are mainly responsible for their different types of pharmacological and or therapeutical effects. So depending upon the activation of the opioid receptor subtype, we can say they have certain different type of structures. All these receptors are basically G protein coupled receptors, and they inhibit the adenylyl cyclase. And they are also associated with the ion channel, and they basically responsible for the increasing the post-synaptic potassium efflux, which causing the hyperpolarization, and presynaptically they decreasing the calcium influx. Thus, they causing the decreased neuronal firing, and by decreased neuronal firing, they inhibit the pain perception. दिस इज़ द पिक्चर ऑफ द ओपियम पोपी फ्रॉम वेयर जो कि हीरोइन बेसिकली यहाँ से जो है इनिशियली जो है वो आइसोलेट हुई थी. So if we talk about the history of the opium, then several types of opioids are initially isolated from this type of plant, and initially it was using in the China just we can say over 2000 years ago for the analgesic activity. However, due to abuse potential, now several derivatives are now made to decrease their addictive characteristic. So the main target is to get a safe, orally active and non-addictive analgesics based on the opioid structures. यानी हमारा जो target ये है कि अब ऐसी drugs बनाई जाएं जो कि NSAIDs हों, but they should be non-addictive. उनमें addictive characteristic ना हो. मॉर्फिन इज़ द प्रोटोटाइप ऑफ द ड्रग जो कि इस पूरे ग्रुप को रिप्रेजेंट कर रही है, एंड इट इज़ द मेजर एनाल्जेसिक कंपाउंड विच इज़ आइसोलेटेड फ्रॉम द ओपियम पोपी, एंड इट इज़ अ स्ट्रॉन्ग एगोनिस्ट. Codeine is also present in the opium in lower concentration, which is less potent as compared to the morphine. So we can say that morphine and the other opioids have the higher affinity for the mu receptors. So initially we can say that they are mu agonists. Mu receptors को basically they activate the mu receptors, and the degree जो है वो उसकी different करेगी कि for the delta and kappa receptors उसी की basis पे हम we can say that they have certain side effects. Mechanism is simple, and opioids basically exert their major effect by interacting with the opioid receptors, as we have discussed, which are mu, kappa or delta, and basically these are present in the brain, in the GI tract, and in other areas of the human body. And basically morphine modulates the or decrease the release of substance P, which modulates pain perception in the spinal cord, and it also appears to inhibit the release of certain excitatory transmitter like glutamate, and it inhibits its nerve transmission from the nociceptive pain stimulus. ठीक है, तो इसकी dual action है, but the main effect is due to the reduction of the substance P in the CNS. If we will talk about the organ actions of the morphine, we can say that it is a strong analgesic compound which relieves the pain without the loss of the consciousness, and it relieves pain by both raising the pain threshold at the spinal cord level, and it also alters the brain perception of the brain, and as well as it also acts periphery. The sensation the morphine is still aware of the that the pain, the presence of pain is there. The patient is aware that the pain is there, but now the sensation is not so much unpleasant. We can say that other thing which may be affected by unpleasant and may cause nausea and vomiting. So we can say that it is a strong analgesic effect because it also inhibits certain excitatory neurotransmitter like glutamate. It produces the powerful sensation of the contentment and well-being, and euphoria is there, which is the major problem. and it is basically due to the elevation of the dopamine in the ventral tegmental area, as we have discussed in the addiction videos, जो कि ब्रेन रिवॉर्ड पाथवे है उसको बेसिकली एक्टिवेट करते हैं, और जब उसके साथ फीलिंग ऑफ वेलबींग जो है वो उस पाथवे के थ्रू एक्टिवेट करते हैं, बिकॉज दे एक्टिवेट दी डोपामिनर्जिक पाथवे in the ventral tegmental area of the brain. Then if we talk about the respiration, basically it is a CNS depressant. So it depresses the respiratory centers of the spinal cord, and basically they reducing the sensitivity of the respiratory centers to the carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide से की sensitivity ये reduce कर देंगी, and basically it is occur in the dose dependent manner. इन केस ऑफ टॉक्सिसिटी जो मेन प्रॉब्लम जो आता है जिसकी वजह से डेथ हो सकती है पर्सन की, इट इज़ दी रेस्पिरेटरी डिप्रेशन, और वो बहुत साइलेंट होता है बिकॉज स्पेशली इन केस ऑफ एक्यूट ओपियोइड ओवरडोज डोजेज एंड टॉलरेंस. This is basically this effect is very dangerous. However, tolerance may develop with repeated exposure, which allows the safe use of morphine for the treatment of the pain when the dose is correctly titrated. Other important function is the depression of the cuff reflex. Yani, basically both morphine and codeine have the anti-tussive properties. In journal, they have the cuff suppression properties. So we can say you can see certain types of these derivatives are present in the cuff syrups. And another result of the stimulation of the mu and kappa receptor is the pinpoint pupil, that is meiosis. And this meiosis is basically due to the enhancement of the parasympathetic stimulation of the eye. यानी parasympathetic nervous system को ये stimulate कर देता है, जिसकी वजह से meiosis जो है वो observe होती है. Then it also stimulates the chemoreceptor trigger zone in the post-rema area, and it causes the vomiting and nausea. Vomiting इसका सब main side effect है. It relieves the diarrhea and dysentery by decreasing the GI motility and increasing the tone of the intestinal circular smooth muscles. So we can say that the effect on the GI tract is that basically जितनी भी antidial preparation है उसमें भी हमारे पास जो है opioids के agonists जो है वो add किए जाते हैं. So overall, morphine and other narcotics produce constipation. However, with slight tolerance may develop. Furthermore, it also increases the biliary tract pressure due to the contraction of the gallbladder and constriction of the biliary sphincter. Normally, at cardiovascular system, it has no major effect on the blood pressure. However, at high doses, it can reduce the blood pressure, that is hypotension, and bradycardia may occur because of the depression of the respiratory center and because of the accumulation of the कार्बन मोनोऑक्साइड. यानी ये इनडायरेक्ट इफेक्ट है, एक्यूट इफेक्ट नहीं है, लेकिन जैसे जैसे बॉडी के अंदर कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड रिटेन होगी, एंड देयर विल बी the cerebral vessel dilation, and there will be the increased cerebrospinal fluid pressure, so there may be increased intracranial pressure. उसकी वजह से then there may be a chance के hypotension हो. Furthermore, morphine also releases histamine from the mast cells, and it can cause the urticaria, it can cause sweating, it can cause vasodilation, and as we know that basically opioids analgesics can also cause bronchoconstrictions. Asthmatic should not receive the drug. What are the actions on the hormones? Morphine basically increases the growth hormone release and enhances the prolactin release. And furthermore, it also increases the antidiuretic hormone, and thus it causes the urinary retention. So it can have the effect on the urinary tract also. If we talk about the labor, then morphine may prolong the second stage of the labor by decreasing the strength or duration and the frequency of the uterine contraction. So uterine contraction decrease करता है अगर ऑपोइड एनाल्जेसिक्स अगर हम ड्यूरिंग द लेबर देंगे तो लेबर जो है वो स्लो हो जाएगा. Due to these effects, due to these actions, mainly we can say that they have five types of or four types of the major therapeutic uses. Among them, they are strong analgesics. Furthermore, they can use along with the benzodiazepine and to produce the sedation as well. यानी उनका जो इफेक्ट है एनाल्जीसिया प्लस sedation दोनों इफेक्ट जो है हम वो opioids analgesic से हासिल कर सकते हैं. Then we have the treatment of the diarrhea for the relief of the cough and the antitussive characteristic. Codeine basically is used, and for the treatment of the pulmonary edema, IV morphine is basically used which relieves the dyspnea. तो मॉर्फिन जो है वो बेसिकली कोविड में भी वी कैन से के लिए पल्मोनरी एडिमा को जो है वो बेसिकली रिड्यूस करते हैं. तो स्टीरॉइड्स जो हैं वो बेसिकली वी कैन यूज़ इन दी कोविड एज वेल. ओरल बायोएबिलिटी मॉर्फिन की इतनी अच्छी नहीं है. So and furthermore, its first pass metabolism is mostly occur in the liver, in the muscles, in the so we can say intramuscular and subcutaneous and IV injections produce the most reliable response. Absorption from the GI is very slow and very erratic. So usually extended release products are there so that कि वो stomach को वो कर दे bypass कर दे. And there is if we talk about the distribution, ये तमाम body organ में body tissues में easily distribute हो जाती है. Even fetus में and lactating men women में भी ये जो है वो पास हो जाती है and milk में आ जाती है. If mother are using during the pregnancy, then the infant can born with the addiction with some physiological dependence on the opioids, and they may exhibit withdrawal symptoms if opioids are not administered. If we compare it with fentanyl and methadone, blood brain barrier को भी इतनी ज़्यादा क्रॉस नहीं करती है. लीस्ट लिपोफिलिक है इन नेचर. methadone and fentanyl जो है वो ज़्यादा लिपोफिलिक. Duration of action of morphine is about 4 to 6 hours, and in elderly patients are basically more sensitive to the analgesic effect of the drug. So elderly patient में जो है वो बहुत carefully देते हैं, and neonates को हम morphine बिल्कुल नहीं देते because of their low conjugating capacity. उसकी metabolism जो कि conjugation के through हो रही है through the glucuronidation, वो जो है वो neonates में नहीं होती है. These are the some side effects like meiosis, like orthostatic hypotension, depression of the respiratory centers, physical dependency, release of the histamines, increased intracranial pressure, nausea, euphoria, and sedation. Among them, respiratory depression and the elevation of the intracranial pressure and the addiction. ये तीन criteria जो तीन adverse effects हैं, they are most problematic adverse effects. Repeated use may produce the tolerance, and this tolerance also occur to the respiratory depressant effect, to the analgesic effect, to the euphoric effect, and to the sedative effects. If we abruptly stop the morphine, then it can lead to the severe withdrawal symptoms, which are basically of autonomic in nature, which are motor and psychological responses, and they may be a life-threatening situation. This detoxification of the morphine-dependent individual usually accomplished through the administration of the less type of opioid agonists like methadone, like buprenorphine or clonidine. The major adverse effect is basically major drug interaction is observed in case of monoamine oxidase inhibitors and the TCAs. कोई और इसका इतना ज़्यादा पोटेंट नहीं है, लेकिन TCAs and monoamine oxidase के साथ जो है बेसिकली उसका जो इफेक्ट है एंटागोनाइज करती है. CNS डिप्रेसेंट है और वो जो है वो हमें CNS वो चाहिए एक्टिवेट. Then we have certain other opioid agonists. Among them is mapridine, which is a synthetic opioid, and it has a similar action with as compared to the morphine. However, it has no cardiovascular action, एंड इट इज़ ओनली रिकमेंडेड फॉर दी एक्यूट पेन के लिए देंगे, क्रॉनिक के लिए नहीं देंगे बिकॉज ऑफ द प्रॉब्लम ऑफ द मेटाबोलाइट, जो कि इसका न्यूरोटॉक्सिक मेटाबोलाइट है, उसकी वजह से ये सिर्फ और सिर्फ एक्यूटली पेन के लिए देंगे फॉर द स्पेशली बिफोर सर्जरी एक्सेट्रा. Then we have the methadone, which is also a synthetic orally effective opioid. क्योंकि मॉर्फिन की अब्जॉर्प्शन ओरली इतनी अच्छी नहीं है, इसलिए ये मीथाडोन जो है वो इक्वली एनाल्जेसिक पोटेंसी है एज कम्पेयर टू दी मॉर्फिन, एंड इट इंड्यूसेस लेस यूफोरिया एंड इट हैज़ समवॉट लॉन्गर ड्यूरेशन ऑफ द एक्शन through the mu receptors activation and the antagonism of the N-methyl D-aspartate receptors. So it is also useful in the neurogenic pains. It is a long acting opioid analgesic. However, it can produce physical dependency as that of the morphine, but has less neurotoxicity as in case of other or in case of other opioids. Then we have the fentanyl, which is the highly lipophilic and compound, and it has a rapid onset and short duration of the action. Basically, epidural fentanyl is used to induce anesthesia and for the analgesia of the post-operatively during the labor. Labor से पहले जो एक analgesic compound लगाते हैं तो वो है fentanyl. Then we have the morphine, which is does not occur naturally. It is produced by the acetylation of the morphine, and it has basically 3 to 4 increase in the potency. It is very lipid soluble, easily crosses the blood-brain barrier, and it producing a more exaggerated type of euphoria. And most of the substance of the abuse is basically the heroin. Then we have hydromorphone and hydrocodone, and basically they are preferred in the renal dysfunction patient and more important analgesic as compared to the morphine. Then we have the codeine, which is the moderate or low agonist, and its activity is 30% less as compared to the morphine because it is initially has to convert into the morphine by cytochrome P450 enzyme. Mainly codeine is used for the antitussive activity, not due to the analgesic activity. So codeine is along with the combination with the aspirin and acetaminophen is basically recommended for the cough preparations, and now codeine has been replaced by the drug like dextromethorphan, which is a synthetic cough depressant and has relatively no analgesic effect as compared to the morphine and the. Then we have certain mixed agonists and antagonists or the partial agonist type of opioids compounds. Among them is pentazocine, buprenorphine, nalbuphine, and other tramadol and tapentadol. Pentazocine basically act as an agonist on the kappa receptor, and they are basically weak antagonists at the mu and gamma delta receptors. It promotes the analgesia by activating these type of receptors. Basically, these mixed agonist antagonists are used for the inhibition of the withdrawal symptoms or the tolerance. However, despite its antagonist action, pentazocine does not antagonize the respiratory depression. So, furthermore, it also precipitates the withdrawal symptoms in the morphine abuser. Then we have the buprenorphine, which is a partial agonist at mu receptors. Like it also used for the reduction of the withdrawal symptoms in the morphine users. However, it causes little sedation and respiratory depression and hypotension. It is basically administered sublingually or parenterally or transdermally and has a long duration of action. Naloxone was added to buprenorphine to prevent the abuse of the buprenorphine by the IV administration. Tramadol is basically a centrally acting analgesic that only bind to mu opioid receptors. ये सिर्फ mu receptor से bind करते हैं. It also weakly inhibit the reuptake of the norepinephrine and serotonin, and basically it is used to manage moderate to moderately severe pain. ठीक है, it is less respiratory depressive as compared to the morphine. Opioid antagonists basically bind with the opioid receptors, but they fail to activate the receptors and mediate the response. And administration of the opioid antagonist produces no profound effect in normal individuals. Normal individuals में कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. However, in patient with those patients which are dependent on the opioids, antagonists rapidly reverse the effect of the agonists such as morphine or any fully mu agonist that and precipitate the symptoms of the opioid withdrawal. Basically, naloxone is used to reverse the coma and respiratory depression of the opioid overdoses. जो भी naloxone है basically वो respiratory depression को ख़त्म करने के लिए है. Within 30 seconds of IV injection, it basically reverse the respiratory depression and especially अगर बहुत ज़्यादा high dose भी morphine की ली हुई है तब भी जो है वो इसको ये reverse कर देता. The problem is that it has a relatively short duration of action of about 30 to 90 minutes. Naloxone is basically a competitive antagonist at mu, kappa and delta receptor with 10-fold high affinity for the mu receptor than the kappa receptor. कैपा रिसेप्टर के मुकाबले में म्यू रिसेप्टर्स को ये ज़्यादा ब्लॉक करता है और रेस्पिरेटरी डिप्रेशन में म्यू रिसेप्टर्स जो हैं वो बेसिकली ज़्यादा इन्वॉल्व होते हैं, इसीलिए ये बहुत ज़्यादा इफेक्टिव है रेस्पिरेटरी डिप्रेशन को रिवर्स करने. नैलोक्सोन एंड नैलटेरोक्सोन के अंदर जो डिफरेंस है वो ये है कि नैलटेरोक्सोन हैज़ अ लॉन्गर ड्यूरेशन ऑफ एक्शन and its effect basically naltrexone is used for the inhibition of the effects produced by the injection of heroin for up to 48 hours. यानी अगर हमें heroin addiction के लिए देना है तो फिर हम naltrexone देते हैं, naloxone नहीं देते. Another problem is that naltrexone is hepatotoxic and so care to be taken कि वो hepatotoxic उसमें ना दी जाए. This is all about the introduction of the opioids. Then next will be the physiological and potential problems of the opioids, which we will discuss in the next lecture. Thank you.